Are they ever going to stop complaining about the Acolyte? Bro, it was a bad show that got canceled because nobody watched. It's really, there's not much more to that, okay? Like, the people that did watch, a lot of them were just mocking it, and all of the modern audience that you were trying to pander to by making this abomination, they didn't turn out. Or maybe they did, and we realized very quickly, like the 80,000 people that signed the petition for a season 2 because we can't let the bigots and the chuds win. That's it. You cannot build a franchise. You cannot allow for a show to survive on that small of a population. That was one of those wake-up calls in 2024 that the rest of the industry probably already knew. Like, deep down, they already knew that, oh my god, pandering to this modern audience crap really isn't working. But it really wasn't until the Acolytes, a full, stunning, and brave agenda was laid bare for the world to see, and for all of the receipts to roll in, for them to realize, oh, yeah, pandering this hard doesn't really work out for anybody. But apparently, and there's a couple of people still not getting the message, and that would be Leslye Headland's uniquely untalented wife. Yes, Rebecca Henderson, who expertly played a plank of green wood. No, I'm sorry, a green skittle. Oh, my mistake. It was the female prodigy of the High Republic, Master Vernestra Rwoh, with her stupid lightsaber whip, which was only used once to kill a bug in the forest. Like, what a hilarious disaster. And they were trying to sequel bait so hard. They were trying to get a season 2, trying to set up Vernestra as the former master to, stupid queer mirrors Padawan, because he had goofy scars on his back, which is kind of interesting. It's like, okay, cool. You want to vaguely allude to that was, given to you by your former master when you turned on them. So why would she have a less lethal weapon at her disposal, going with a lightsaber whip, as opposed to something that has killed like how many thousands of Sith and Jedi over the years? Like, okay, cool. Like, we already knew that she was a terrible character with a very warped moral compass, because she would rather lay the blame of everything, just run a big cover up, lie about everything, and put it on a deceased man and ruin his legacy and run his name into the dirt, as opposed to just coming clean to the council. Like, it makes no sense at all whatsoever. But yeah, the entire show had a very, very strange grasp of reality, and it shows that it just extrapolates further into the cast, as Rebecca Henderson once again blames fans for the Acolyte's cancellation. Well, yeah, the lack thereof. Okay, that would be to blame. Touts Star Wars shows ratings as though there's something to brag about. Oh no, we've seen them all now. Okay, like, it was the second best performing Disney Plus show on the year, but overall it was, prior to the Skeleton Crew, the worst performing Star Wars show, full stop, ever. It was like really bad. I don't know if I need to remind you. The cast of The Acolyte continued to tout the show's ratings, despite the fact that objective numbers show that hardly anyone watched it. However, a group of people seem insistent on doubling down and trying to blame anyone but themselves or creator, showrunner, and Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, Leslye Headland, for the show's cancellation. Instead, Leslye Headland's wife is putting the blame where it really belongs, on you and me, I guess. Yeah, exactly. And the fallout from The Acolyte's disastrous performance continues, but rather than accepting reality, Headland's wife, Rebecca the Plank Henderson, has decided to lash out at fans. In a recent social media post, Henderson, who played green-skinned Jedi Master Vernestra Rwoh in a series, a casting choice that I'm sure had nothing to do with her being married to the showrunner, blamed the Acolyte's cancellation on the critics and Star Wars fans while touting misleading data about the show's performance. Okay, what do we have here? Okay, so we got an Instagram story, I would imagine. Tell me again they canceled the show because no one watched it, and not because you know why. Okay, but juxtapose that with the fact that those big IP franchises were still the best performing series on Disney Plus, the solution becomes unclear. Percy Jackson and the Olympians was the top dog on Disney Plus last year with over 3 billion minutes viewed, and The Acolyte came in second place with 2.7 billion. Read the entire, okay, I would imagine that's probably an excerpt from like the Hollywood Reporter or something like that. But yeah, 2.7 billion minutes. It sounds like a lot, but when you stack it up against literally everything else, it falls hysterically short. Like Peter Dinklage trying to get on a roller coaster short. Like, that's what we're dealing with here. And especially, I don't know the budget for Percy Jackson and the Olympians, but if it is something reasonable, perhaps 3 billion minutes, that's an unmitigated success. But you take a look at The Acolyte and the fact that it cost $230 million and all you could get was the worst performing Star Wars show at the time. Like, bro, what are we doing here? Henderson shared the headline that prompted the Acolyte ratings. Promoted the Acolyte ratings rather. Describing the series, penned by her wife, is the second most watched show on Disney Plus in 2024. Which, yeah, that's objectively true. Just don't look for any truth in the numbers, okay? You know what? Yeah, based on the obnoxious way that she said is coupled with the fact that she has to be intentionally trying to mislead. I'm only referring to her as Headland's wife from here on out. Yeah, exactly. While she didn't elaborate on why, why, meant the implication is clear. Green Plank appears to suggest, that's how I'm going to refer to her as, because that's the way that she acted. Like, there were some really bad performances. Amanda Stenberg front and center, and she did it twice over, so she might actually be the worst actress, because you could go ahead and bifurcate her performance, so you just got hit in the face with just her inability to act twice over. But like, Henderson is uniquely untalented. Like, if Stenberg had 4 facial expressions, Henderson had 2. If Mayanosha each shared 1, Vernestra had a blank expression. She was really bad, okay? I want to detract from that. She was awful in that role. Like, the best performances, yeah, was by Queermere there, Manny Jacinto, and a guy that couldn't even speak fluent English. So what are we doing here? And in the world, yes, of this cast, that typically means racism and sexism. Exactly. The you know why? Because, yeah, exactly. This echoes sentiment made by the series star, yes, Amanda Stenberg, who said that it's from, like, hyper-conservative, like, mega chuds that just, like, hate everything, I think. Let me just put on my fake eyelashes here real quick and straighten out my hair. But here's the problem. Scroll back up to the image. Yeah, in the bottom where it says read the entire report here. And yeah, we've looked at these charts before. And bro, you take a look at everything else. Okay, the top 10 TV originals, which everything in entertainment. It wasn't exactly a high water mark for a bunch of stuff last year. Like, it was pretty bad. But most watched shows on the air, you're getting 12, 11, just about 10 million for Landman. Just about 10 billion minutes watched rather. For a show that was only out for 6 months in 2024? Like, what are we doing here? Trying to stick up for a show that only got a third of your 10th best performing show? Like, what are we doing? Okay, the lowest ranked show, yes, the top 10 streaming originals of this year. Netflix's Love is Blind pulled in 7.3 billion minutes viewed. Disney Plus was completely absent. And looking at the Acolyte specific ratings, yes, despite a promising start to the Star Wars series, the Acolyte was canceled by Disney and Lucasfilm shortly after the first season finale, with the fans' mixed reaction is likely a factor. And that's wild. Even by the conclusion of the series, like, nobody was checking in. Like, when episode 1 and 2 debuted on the same day, like, there were some people that were like, oh boy, I'll try the first one. Oh wow, that sucks. A couple of people, actually pretty good retention for the first and second episode, or yeah, for the second and third episodes right there. But then after that, it's like it deleteriously dropped off. I guess a couple of people, it's like after that lightsaber battle, it's like, oh yeah, I'm back in on this one. But looking at the finale ratings, like, nobody's watching this stuff. And yeah, word of mouth, it didn't track for this show. You're looking at all of these numbers and they're reverse hockey sticks. They start off good and then they just completely fall off a cliff. Like, nobody's hopping on the bandwagon at all whatsoever. Crazy. While the Green Skittle is eager to mock fans, she conveniently ignores the fact that the Acolyte's viewership actually collapsed over its run. Yeah, we just went over that. You see, it's a good thing when your show starts with high viewership. It's not great when that's your peak. Yeah, it was really good at the start. What was it at the end? Well, it was really good at the start. The Acolyte repelled viewers to the point that most of them didn't even bother finishing the series. Yeah, exactly, because you take a look at the ratings that are here. And just also, like, take a look at the competition that was on Disney Plus this year. Okay, Agatha all along, Echo, X-Men 97, The Bad Batch, Ahsoka that was done at the end, done at the end of August in 2023. Oh no, I'm sorry, it debuted in August and it was wrapped up by October, right? And then Mando season 3 that ended up getting mocked into the ground. And her 10th best performing show was the first season of The Mandalorian that debuted in 2019. Dude, what are we doing? The show sucked. Nobody watched it. It just about got beat by Agatha, for Christ's sakes. If you would have flip reverse those two shows, Acolyte might have actually performed better because the stench of that product hadn't been released upon the world yet. Like, Agatha was really bad, but nobody cared about that. Like, nobody talked about it. And the fact that there was only a 400,000 minute delta there kind of lets you know just how awful the Acolyte was. Just how word of mouth and how reviews circulated much more and much grander than this show did. It's wild, man. D Plus is a failed service. Yeah, man, it's absolutely no surprise why Netflix, after these numbers ended up getting released, seemingly ran Headland off of her project. Why Alan Bergman ended up coming out and saying, yeah, we canceled The Acolyte. And while Kathleen Kennedy, I don't know, man, is she mustering her final assault and ready to unleash it on the world at Star Wars Celebration in April? Because who knows, man, you cannot polish this turd at all whatsoever. You can say that it was the second best performer on the platform in 2024, but when you take a look at things in a wider scope, because Disney Plus was supposed to turn a profit at the end of last year, and well, within the next couple of weeks, we're likely to have another investor call, and we'll see for sure whether or not D Plus being a moneymaker ended up being the case, but I highly doubt it, and it's basically due to the MCU-ification of Marvel and Kathleen Kennedy's stewardship of Lucasfilm. And so with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Conswell. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.